Welcome everyone to my channel. I'm excited about having a special guest, a very dear friend, someone I've spent several years working with. Her name is Charlene Reed. She's originally from Midway, Alabama. She has been working for Kia Georgia Incorporated for the past 13 years. And during that time, she has had a son and started her own crafting business. Charlene and I go way back. We've worked on several different projects while my time at Kia and with our core values and other things. And Charlene, it's exciting to have you here. And I would love for her to dive into how did you get started with that crafting business?
Hi, Miles. Thanks for having me on your show. I do truly appreciate this opportunity. I got started in my crafting business in 2020, to be exact, but I didn't make it official to 2021.
Okay.
So I got started because after having Bryson, you go to the daycare, you have to label their stuff, put their names on stuff, and I was doing it with a permanent marker. So I was like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And then I started watching YouTube, and I saw people doing the crafting and using vinyl with the Cricut machine and stuff. So that was my first go-to. I bought a Cricut machine, started putting his name on stuff using the vinyl and shirts and his bottles, cups, everything. So I just kept watching YouTube and learning more and more, and then expanded into sublimation,
Mm.
and it just grew from there. So in 2021, of January, I said I'm going to make this official, and I filed for my EIN with Secretary of State and got my business official in my name.
Okay. And what's the name of that business?
BM Press LLC. And the
Okay.
B is acronym for Bryson Miles.
Oh,
So it
I
took me
like
a
that.
few months to come up with that name.
Okay. All right.
Yes, Bryson Miles.
I like that middle name, by the way.
Yes.
So, as you got started, um, you said you started making it official. What motivated you to take it from being just something you do for you and your son to taking it to being a business and doing it for others?
Because I've always wanted to own my own business. I went to college, Troy University. I have my bachelor's degree in business management. So I always knew one day I wanted to own my own business. So once I started doing crafting, I grew to love it. It was just something I love to do. I was doing it for other family members, friends, just doing it for free, just practicing. So
Hmm.
as I got more and more knowledgeable about it, and people was like, "Girl, you should start selling your stuff. You're doing great work." And I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. I can make a business out of this. This is something I love to do, and I always wanted to do something that I love. So
Okay.
that's what made it official.
Okay. And as it became more official, and you can take that example, someone said you need to turn it into a business. How did people respond when you were started out doing it for free? How did they respond when you started charging?
Those same people are still my customers today.
Okay.
So I have a great support system from family and friends.
Okay. All right. And has that
Yes.
been pretty consistent for you to have that support from a lot of your family and friends?
Yes, it has. Sometimes we have our slow seasons. Christmas was extremely busy for me. So I learned a lot of things during Christmas season, what to do different next. In between time, it's been a little slower, but with the
Hmm.
crafting industry, you're going to have your slow seasons and, just different stuff to work on the craft for different holidays or special events.
Okay. So, what did you learn from this past Christmas that you're going to implement and change in the next Christmas or maybe the next big holiday?
Well, for one, I would definitely promote earlier. I want to
Okay.
start earlier. I want to have a cutoff time. I want to be well prepared on my inventory and supplies and have a schedule and not overwork myself.
Okay. All right. That's a lot of stuff.
Yes.
Especially, let's dive into the supply thing because
Mhm.
the supply chain. in your day job, as you know, and you work in
Mhm.
manufacturing. I still work in manufacturing, just somewhere else. But uh, we know there's been a huge impact on the supply chain in the manufacturing industry. How has the supply chain issues impacted you, even as a small business owner?
Oh, it has impacted the crafting industry, especially as far as t-shirts. Huge. Um, so many manufacturers or wholesalers can't get t-shirts in fast enough. So that's why it's good to have a lead time on orders and not last minute, because what a customer may want may not be in stock at the time, because there is a national t-shirt shortage for sure.
Really? T-shirts
Yes.
like this T-shirt you made for me, right?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Just
I
like
mean,
that t-shirt.
oh wow.
And also
So
they have also put up on pricing for freight.
okay, okay.
Yes.
Um, so back in my college days, which was a long time ago, um, I
Mhm.
was working a sales job. I was selling Cutco, the knives. I don't know if you know what that is, but we did a Christmas in July type thing one time. Just trying to promote it. So when you said you're going to plan ahead for Christmas, is that something you start planning in the summer? Or is that something you plan? I don't know. Is it August? What kind of lead time frame do you feel like you need to give yourself the space and products you need to prepare, but just to help you feel better about coming into that type of season? I'm Miles Street. I work with for profit and nonprofit leaders who've been experiencing winning moments in the past, but right now you realize you need a new game plan and you want to dominate in your industry and life.
I feel like at least 3 months is a
Okay.
good time frame to start preparing for Christmas orders.
Okay.
So
All right.
I'd say September, I'll start
Mm-hmm.
promoting Christmas items and getting orders in, or at least getting interest to see what people want.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, because I don't want to have stuff that people don't want on
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah. One of the things you notice as a consumer, and when you go out after one holiday or season has ended, as soon as it's done, it's almost like right away you see stores getting ready for that very next one. How do you compensate for that with your business?
Um, I used to wonder why stores like Walmart did that. Soon as Christmas is over, or before Christmas is over, you see Valentine's stuff on the shelf.
Hmm.
Before I started my business, I was one like, wow, that's way early. But now that I have my own business, I can see why stores start promoting the next holiday early, even sometimes before this one is completed. So that's just helps me get on schedule so that I'm not behind 8 ball, to be
Hmm.
prepared.
Okay.
Like now, I'm getting prepared for graduation season, Mother's
Yeah.
Day, Father's Day ahead of
Uh-huh.
time.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And I know you talked about the t-shirts. Is there one thing that you feel like, this is my specialty or your specialty item? This is where, you really excel at and feel you're most creative at, or is it several different things for you?
Now I have sublimation is definitely my favorite. I prefer sublimation over anything out of the vinyl, because there's different types of things you can use or methods you can use in making t-shirts. You
Mhm.
got vinyl, you got screen prints, you got sublimation. Sublimation is my favorite. I'm very good at that, not just on t-shirts, but also tumblers would be my number two item that I love. Yes,
Yeah.
tumblers. Tumblers and t-shirts are my absolute favorite to make, that I feel like I'm exceptionally well at making those.
So kind of go into some detail about sublimation because I've never heard this. I don't know what it is, and there's probably others out there. What is that, and what about it that makes it so interesting for you?
Right. The best thing of sublimation is ink.
Okay.
So if I when I use the sublimation process, I have a sublimation printer that takes only sublimation ink. It's not your average ink that you use in your desktop computer. This ink, is a liquid. put it at 400 degrees on your shirt, turns into a
Mhm.
gas, and the fibers of the polyester shirt pulls in that ink and it attaches to it, and it's permanent. So that's the best thing about sublimation. It's permanent, and the next best thing is you don't feel it on your shirt. When you rub your hand across your shirt, you can't feel the image; you just
Yeah.
see it.
Yeah.
So it like I said, it's permanent. I love that about it. Um, the only con to sublimation when it comes to shirt making is that it can only be used on polyester fibers or
Mhm.
material. It has to be at least 50% polyester. The greater the polyester count, the better, the more vibrant that image would be on your shirt, the greater the polyester count. Some people don't like it because it's a thinner material, but there are companies that are making polyester shirts that feels like cotton now. So,
Mhm.
and it's not see-through. So the more this crafting industry is growing, because it has been booming since the pandemic, so more manufacturers are seeing what they can do to help us to make things better and what people like and don't like. But
Mhm.
yes, sublimation is not just shirts. Sublimation can be done on any substrates that has a sublimation, what you call it, sublimation. It has to be made for sublimation. Let me put it like that. I
Okay.
can't just go to Walmart and buy a tumbler off the shelf and say I'm gonna put something on this. No, it has to be sublimation ready. So there are a lot of big vendors out there that sell just sublimation blanks.
Okay.
Do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, so that's very specialized then. But yeah, I did notice that about this shirt. It's like I can't feel it, and it's been washed a couple times. It's not getting faded or anything like that nature. So yeah, I really like that. So yeah, that's kind of cool. Didn't realize that. Now, you've been talking a lot about your business here so far. We have, and we haven't really dived into the fact that you have a full-time job already. You work a 9 to 5, like a lot of
Yes.
us, are not really 9 to 5, but you're working a corporate job. Plus, you're doing this. Plus, you're a mother. How do you manage it all?
Oh, good question. It can be a little stressful at times, working full time and running a business, being a mother, taking care of home. I have to learn about time management. So that's what I
Mm,
have been learning recently is how to manage my time because time is of the essence with me for everything. So I don't waste time on stuff I shouldn't be doing. But yes, I
mhm,
have learned how to manage my time more efficiently so I can still um, do my work at my full time job, come home, cook, clean, whatever I need to do. I have certain time set aside for that. Spend time with my son, my family. That's because that's most important also, and not wear myself out.
mhm. So, I know that you're also really promoting your stuff a lot on different social media platforms. So when you start, and we were talking about time management. Um, so when you think about the time you spend developing the products that are working on them to sell or get them out to your customers, plus there's the back end of the business, money collections, all that kind of stuff, finance stuff, and then there's the actual promotion of the business that you're marketing it yourself, you're promoting it yourself on social media. How much time are you spending personally promoting your business via the different social media platforms?
I would say I'll probably spend about 5 hours a week
Mm,
um, combined doing the promoting. But the good thing about it is I used to have like take a whole Sunday to do it. But then once I
mhm,
learned that I can schedule my posts ahead of time, that saves so much time. And I can schedule them to different social media sites all at one time and schedule it out for the whole month. So that saved me a ton of time.
okay. And what scheduling service are you using for that?
Right now, I use the Facebook Business Suite.
Mm-hmm.
It will post to Instagram, Facebook, and my Facebook groups at the same time. And I also have this app called Plannerly.
Mm-hmm.
it's a paid app, but I don't use that one anymore, or I'm not going to renew my subscription because once I learned about Business Suite is free, I prefer to go with that one. And also my
Uh,
website, Shopify, has Facebook marketing also.
okay. All right. Uh, are you doing any TikToks with yours, or are you just focusing on basically Facebook and Instagram right now?
Yes, I do TikTok. I have a TikTok business account also.
Okay.
I use
All right.
TikTok when I'm making videos, like demonstrating how I make my products.
Okay. All right. So, how much of your time with the social media is it that you're documenting what you do versus, let's just say, creating, maybe creating content or an ad? Okay. I view those two as being different. How much of it is documentation of what you do, and how much of it is, hey, take a picture of some of these T-shirts you made recently, or maybe it's a
Mm.
different tumblers you made recently, and then you're putting that out there. What?
Well, most of my time is being taking the pictures of the product and getting it where it's presentable in a professional way, professional background, and then uploading it to the different sites. So that's where I spend most of my time at, is editing
Mhm.
my or making my content and editing it and getting it ready for social media. Um, Having the content typically comes from my orders. So it
Okay.
depends on how I get my orders. That's my content I use also. And then I do engagement posts also. I do spend a couple of hours a week finding engagement posts that I can put in my group to keep my group engaged and active,
Mm. Okay.
even if
All
I'm
right.
not posting something I'm at
Okay. So, how many times a week are you in that group?
every day.
Every day. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
every day.
Cool.
I try to get something posted in my group every day.
Okay. Oh, that's a lot. I mean, most when it comes to Facebook groups, on average, if you're active maybe 2 or 3 times a week, normally that's probably enough. But that's quite an accomplishment right there, and just to being that active in your group that way. So that's awesome. That's amazing. So, um, so what's the long term goal, vision for all this for you?
My long-term goal is to go from crafting to coaching, to
Okay.
actually teaching others how to get started in their
o-
crafting business.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
And what's motivated you to pursue it in that direction?
Because I've have gained so much knowledge over this last year, to I want to teach others what they need to know, prior to starting this, because there's a lot of things I didn't know going into this
Mm,
business that I wish I had knew
mhm,
beforehand. So, and then I follow other coaches, crafting coaches also out there, and I've been gaining a lot of knowledge from them as well. So
mhm,
I can just pass this information along, and I think I would do good at teaching. So
mhm.
especially all this stuff that I know, I think I would be a good coach also.
Okay, that's kind of cool. I think that's a great thing. I mean, honestly, you are getting so much knowledge from this and your experience as well, and then you can, sharing your story and then helping those people, um, put the right things in place to get started. And coaching is definitely a way to go with this, and to build your brand as well at the same time as you build the business. So yeah, that's really cool. That's awesome. So, so what would be your 2 or 3 pieces of advice that you would give someone out there who's thinking about getting started with a crafting business?
Okay, number one would be, so when you want to take your hobby and turn it into a business, it's not going to be easy. The crafting industry is a dog eat dog world right now. Hopefully, it'll get better. But I would definitely recommend doing your research. Make sure you get all your documents in order. There's a lot of things you're going to need to do if you really want to make a legit business out of your hobby. You got to get your EIN number, your DUNS number, um, build business credit, get a business bank account. Get if you want to do contracts with your business, like for schools or organizations, you got to get certified by SAM, which is the government, to bid on those contracts. You need a business website. You need to get listed on 411 on Google. You need a business address. You can use a virtual address also. Um, if I miss anything, a 1-800 phone number. You need to have a domain with your
Mm,
email. A Gmail does not look good for a business, a real business. You need
yeah.
your own domain. Like my email is charlene@bmpress.org. And
Yeah.
all of these things are not free. So make sure you save. That's another
Uh-huh.
advice I would say: save so you can be able to pay for these things, because they do charge monthly or you can pay yearly. As far as supplies, especially once you get into sublimation, you're going to get
Mm,
addicted to it. This is
mm,
an addictive industry. You're going to love it, especially if you love crafting. And you're just going to be spending, spending, spending. And every time you see something new come out, you're going to want to buy it.
mm.
Don't do that. Start out with 1 or 2 things at first. Get um, really good at that, and then move on to something else, because you're gonna keep wanting to buy every time you see something new come out. You're like, oh, I want to do that too. Then you're gonna be like spending money, money, money. So pace yourself, save up some money, do your research, get your business started legit, and you're also gonna have to file taxes.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to file your state and federal taxes every month. So there's just a lot of things that I didn't know going into this that I would be glad to share with others, so they won't just be blindsided like, oh, I gotta pay for this too. I gotta pay for this too. Yes.
Yeah.
Being a small business owner is not easy, but you do have to put in a lot of work for it.
Yeah. And when you're pursuing something like that that you're passionate about and you're kind of being drawn to anyway, even though it's hard work, it doesn't seem like hard work at some, not all the time at least. There are definitely days,
Yes.
running a coaching business, consulting business, it can get it's exciting, but at the same time there are days it can be draining as well. And yeah, that shiny object
Mhm.
syndrome, especially when you see stuff
Yes.
out there you want to have for your business, it's
Yep.
just as addicting as a shiny object syndrome when you're a normal person and you just see that brand new car out there or something else that you want to buy for yourself. We still have to deal with the
Right.
same thing, even on the business end. But that's great. That's some really great advice. And I think people don't realize that too. And maybe I'm going to hit on this one. How much money from your day job did you have to use in the beginning to fund? You know, when people don't think about where's that money going to come from starting that business? If we don't plan, like you said, don't plan, that money's going to have to come from our day job or somewhere that we saved up to get started. And
Right.
and sometimes when we walk into certain jobs and before we can go full time with something, we need to be thinking about that. How much of this money am I going to be setting aside for this venture to get myself free from this so I can grow something for myself. So yeah, that's some great
Right.
advice there. So yeah. Well, I really appreciate your time this Charlene, and it was really great having you. And I think you've definitely added a lot of value here that people can take away as they get started in a crafting business or any other type of business. Because the nice thing is a lot of this stuff is transferable. You just happen to specialize in crafting. So thank you.
Hey, I'm Miles Street. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this has been of value to you. Sign up for your strategy call in the description below if you want to experience more success and dominate in your industry and life.